Would you believe me if I told you I was caught sleeping with the Countess of Arameti? The Count wanted my head, of course, but Lord Gallanthal decided to ship me off to the dungeons of Fort Charlotte instead. I think he wanted to sell me to the red sand mines, which is absolute tosh. Do you think I would want to slave away in the blistering desert heat mining for pink salt I will never eat? No, sir. Betting Countess Jahara was not even in the original plan, just a happy detour. I'm not complaining, however. I'm sure you've never seen Countess Jahara undressed, but let me tell you, the lithe body and dark skin of that Azir masterpiece was worth the distraction. I can see by the look on your face that you do not believe me. Allow me to regale you with how I, Basanio Falstaf, heisted the jewel known as the Claw of Tamitsu from the Count's personal vault, bedded his wife, and escaped with nary a scratch. It all started when I was walking off a whiff of too much cider. If you've never had cider from the orchards of a Similarian, then you are missing out. I stumbled across the docks from the Eastport, letting the fresh air clear my head, when I heard a pack of merchant sailors talking about a manifest they had received. Evidently, it was assigned to go straight to Count Jahara's vaults. No customs inspections or anything. Valuable? Secret? Belonging to a rich ruler? My nose started to tingle as I caught the tantalizing scent of fresh booty. As a pirate, it is my sacred duty to steal what I can. So I watched the ship from a distance and noticed a band of Rakizan cavaliers, on foot mind you, approach and grab a very special crate. One fellow held it to his chest, while the other two flanked him. These are my guys, I thought. Wherever they go, I must follow. Follow I did, across the streets of Arameti West towards the Count's very castle. If you are wondering how I could possibly be stealthy, I will tell you right now, it was very easy. I know the Rakizan Cavaliers to be ever watchful and vigilant. Their eyes are as sharp as birds of prey, so I had to be swifter. I wove through the crowded streets, keeping my distance while sensitive to my quarry. I dare say I was so invisible you would assume I had an obscuration sigil on me. Alas, my skills are all natural. Once we got to the castle was where my real problems began. I could not hope to spring through the closing portcullis without drawing suspicion. I hid within the formal gardens of the castle's front courtyard, hatching a plan. I had once heard that Count Jahara had ties with the Karathi slave trade, so I deduced that he must have secret tunnels going in and out of the castle to avoid obvious dealings with smugglers. I only needed to find where the secret door would be. I am no stranger to smuggling, so I was uniquely qualified to find such an entrance. It took all afternoon, but eventually I discovered a trap door hidden among the unkept vines in the rear of the castle. The slope there was slippery, and I nearly fell into the muddy canal below a few times. Luckily for us all, I happened to be swift of foot and strong of arm, so navigating such a danger was a trifling thrill. The tunnels leading through the secret parts of the castle was quite boring, I'm sorry to say. I did not even need to practice my expert stealth maneuvers. Walking through those abandoned tunnels was as simple and easy as strolling through the park. What I did not know was that this castle was not the only secret parts I would be exploring that day. I can see I am losing you, so I will skip a few close calls I had with a family of goblins nesting in the castle's foundations, as well as a couple narrow surprises from astute Rakizan guards. From the looks of you, I can tell you have never spent time in the high castles of the village nobles. I, however, have been both an invited guest and an intruding rapscallion. One thing I can tell you from my experience is that castles are difficult to navigate. Their winding hallways and corridors are a nightmare. In my haste to find the vault, I stumbled into the Count's bedroom. I can practically feel your temperature rising as we approach the real excitement of the story. I had to remain in the Count's bedroom as I heard the footsteps of more Rakizan foot soldiers who had been hired as castle guards. I was so focused on watching the outside hallway through the cracks of the door that I did not hear another door open on the other side of the bedroom. "And who might you be?" A soft and sultry voice came into my ears. It startled me at first, but I always keep my cool. You must be the Countess. I matched her sensuous tone as I turned around to greet her. I looked at her dark skin and lithe curves flowing beneath a lace nightdress and mesh bath gown. And you, her eyes undressed me from the top of my plumed hat to the bottom of my buccaneer boots. The man. The way she said, the man, made me think she was expecting someone else, likely a mystic man of the Hidono. You know, sacred male prostitutes. I felt obligated by my station as a thief and skills as a lover to play along and enjoy the ruse. She was, after all, highly desirable. She beckoned me through the door into her boudoir. We sat, and I talked with her as mystic men are trained to do. We drank of her wine, a rare vintage from the Sun Elf Islands of Avalon. I can't remember the name. I won't bore you with the details of who did what, to whom, or where. There was a couch, a floor, a large bathtub. It was all a blur of sensuous bliss that I will cherish for the rest of my life. As will she, I imagine. "Will you be dismissing me, then?" I asked in a meek tone of sadness at departing and eagerness to remain. I have known enough mystic women to know their tricks. "My husband will be gone for hours." She crawled to me, still seething with primal hunger. "Inspecting a new shipment, I think. We can keep going." "That shipment must be important," I whispered into her ear, her lobe gentle gummed in between my teeth. "How could it be more important than you?" "Cavaliers reported it a week ago," she moaned. "Some big diamond, the claw of Tamitsu or something." Electricity jolted through my veins, and I sprang my mind into action. I had stolen the Count's jewel, and now I needed to steal his other jewel. You look like a person who has never heard of the Claw of Tamitsu, so I will explain. It is a crescent diamond gem about as big as my eye, though its value is far greater than any diamond. It is said to contain the soul of a tiger god. "Where is the vault?" I tried to keep my excitement at a minimum, regaining my tempter's groan. "On the other side of the castle," she whimpered, "so he won't catch us." "Thanks, babe." I gave the Countess a hard peck on the lips. "You've been great, but I've got to run." I sprang forth from the boudoir with the sound of her protesting shouts fading behind me. I had to get that diamond. I snuck through the castle hallways and corridors at high speeds, admittedly careless. It was fairly easy for the Rakizan guards to catch me only after I had escaped the vaults and headed to my escape tunnel. I hid the diamond beforehand, and I'm not telling you where. They shackled me and locked me up as a thief. It was only later that day that Countess Jahara accused me of taking advantage of her after 2 guards caught her screaming after me in the hallway, naked. She had to say something. I don't blame her. She came on to me, but in a way we took advantage of each other. Now here I am on a boat, sailing to Gondor's Isle to lay low for a few weeks. They put me on a ferry to Aramis on the Midlands so that Lord Gellenthal could sell me to the mines. I jumped ship. Do you have any idea how hard it is to swim with your wrists and feet shackled? With that in mind, will you please do me a favor and knock off these chains? They are dreadful on my wrists.